everyone, and welcome back to my channel. On today's video, I will be reviewing the Violet Voss Pro Holy Grail palette. I have it right here. I did receive this in a Boxy Luxe, which is an addition to Boxy Charm. For those of you who are not familiar, Boxy Charm is a monthly subscription service to makeup and skincare that is $21 a month shipped. Every 3 months, so 4 times a year, you can upgrade to a Boxy Luxe. That is for $50, and you end up getting about 10 or 11 full-size skincare and makeup items, valuing at about $200 to $300. So in December, I upgraded to Boxy Luxe, and this was one of the palettes I received. I have been playing around with it. I'm going to open it up so you can see it. It does have 20 shades in it. As you can see, they are in the warmer range. There are 8 matte shades, and then the rest are metallic and shimmers. So I'm going to show you the look that I got the most compliments on when I was using this for my palette of the week, which is something I'm going to change up a little bit, but we'll get into that. So I'm going to show you the favorite look of the week that I used doing this, and kind of talk to you about the way that the shadows blend, how they perform on the eye, and their longevity. So let's get to it. What I'm first going to do is go ahead and prime my eyes, and what I do is I use the Wet n Wild Photo Focus eyeshadow primer. So I just go ahead and put that on all over the lid. I've already washed my face, and I found that I like doing my eye makeup before I do foundation and concealer and my face. So I just get that on there. So I have that primed and ready to go. So I was very excited to hear actually that we were getting a Violet Voss palette in the Boxy Luxe. I had never had a chance to really try Violet Voss, and that is one of the benefits of having a Boxy subscription, is you do get to try some products, and you do get to try some brands that you might not otherwise have the opportunity to. So I was very excited. Now, the packaging is really nice. It does have that kind of cardboard packaging. It does feel heavy. It doesn't feel very flimsy, like if you bump it, it's gonna break, so that's nice. It does come with a full-size mirror, and that is something that I appreciate, so I'm not grabbing something else. I can just go in with this mirror and kind of do what I need to do. And actually, I find myself kind of reaching for this mirror due to the size of it when I'm putting on my foundation and other things. So now that my primer has dried down, I am going to go in with actually the shade Transition, and I'm going to use a Luxie 229 tapered brush, and I actually am just going to put that all over from my lashes all the way up to my brow bone. The pigmentation on this, I can tell you guys, is really, really nice. I've noticed that its blendability is really good. It doesn't have over pigmentation, and I know you guys are probably thinking, what's over pigmentation? And for me, that's where I go in with a shadow, and it just is so pigmented that it's then hard for me to blend out, and it leaves like splotches on my eyelid. It grabs on, and I don't find that is happening with this, but it does have a decent amount of pigmentation when I'm blending it out. So I just kind of go in there and do that. I think I'm going to do the warm eye look. Like I said, I'm going to do the one that I was complimented on the most when I was testing out this palette. So then I'm going to go into a little bit darker shade with the same brush, and it's called Are You Kiddin' Me? Which I kind of think is cute. It's also kind of like a mocha color, but like a light mocha. And I'm going to start right here and really putting it on the outer corner of my lid, and then kind of going in. Now, because I do have the one hooded eye, if you guys have watched my channel before, you know that that's something I lament about, is that my right eye is hooded and my left eye isn't. So I have to make some adjustments when I'm doing my eyeshadow. So I kind of have to go higher on my right side than I do my left side. Do the same thing over here. And I would love to hear from you guys. If you have this Violet Voss palette, or any Violet Voss palette for that matter, and you want to talk about it, go ahead and leave me a comment. Maybe suggest some other ones that I might like to try. If you have any experience with it, I would love to hear about it. I'd love to hear from you guys when you put some comments down below. Now, I don't have a code or anything for BoxyCharm, but I will put a link to the BoxyCharm website if you want to sign up. I know that the next BoxyLuxe is going to be coming out in March. So if you are interested in signing up for Boxy or BoxyLuxe, now is the time. I know there's a wait list for BoxyLuxe, but they usually open up that wait list around a week before it's due to start. So maybe the end of February. So if you want to get on that wait list, I'll put a link in the description box for you. So I'm just kind of building this up a little right here in my crease and fluffing it all around, kind of smoking it out a little. And then I'm going to go into this color right here, which is called Brownie Points. And I'm going to actually use this mini tapered or mini angled by Luxie. It actually was another one I got in a BoxyCharm a few months ago. I like that it's kind of small and precise. So on my right eye, I'm going to go into what I call my outer V, because, or my outer 7, because I really don't have a V on this side. And I'm just going to start laying down that little darker color and then angling it up across the bottom of my brow bone right there. Do that, same on the other side. And just keep blending. That is the biggest thing I can tell you in doing your eye makeup is blend, blend, blend. Make sure that you're getting those shadows blended together as best as you can. So that way they kind of meld together, they're softened, you don't have any harsh lines or anything like that. So then I kind of look back, I kind of take a minute and I look to see if I look even, how my pigmentation is on both sides, and then I just touch up where it needs to be. So I'm going to do that. I feel like I need to kind of come in here just a little bit. So I'm doing that. And then what I tend to do is I have a little bit of color that I just kind of go up on the inner corner, but I tend to leave the outer where my arch is. I really don't have much of an arch there because of the hood, but I leave that blank for a highlight color or something that offsets the colors that are on my mobile lid and the rest of my eye. So I'm actually going to use that same brush, the angled one, and I'm going to go into this color here, Teddy Bear. It is kind of a rich, dark brown, and that is really going to be what I use to stamp on almost just at that angle. Like I'm just doing it on the outer angle and then taking what's left on the brush and bringing it towards the inner corner of my eye. And you can see I'm leaving a little space there, and that is going to be for my shimmers and a little bit of my metallics. Now, I have heard a lot of people say that if you have hooded eyes or if you have like any sort of eye droop, you shouldn't use metallics or shimmers on your lid because it brings focus to them. And I say, psh. I like the look of shimmers. I like the look of metallics on my lid, so I kind of go for it. That's what makeup is all about, after all, is having fun with it. So I do that. I don't go crazy with it, although, you know, I probably will once in a while, but I don't go too crazy with it. Now, see, I have a little bit, so I have to now, I'm looking at it, you guys can see I have to blend it out a little. So I'm going to grab a clean, fluffy brush, and this is my Moda Pro BMX 430 crease. It says crease, but it's really fluffy, you guys. It's very soft. It's good for softening edges. It's really good for blending out. I think I also got this in a BoxyCharm. I've gotten a lot of brushes with BoxyCharm that I really like, and I'm just going to keep fluffing that out and making sure that it's all blended together. And it's sort of elongating my eye a little so you can see how it's pulling the way you look at my eye towards the corner. It's opening up my eye a little bit so my eyes don't look so closed off. Just get in there and then when I decide that I like the look of that everything is nice and blended, that's when I go to the next step. And I can tell you, these matte colors do blend out very, very nicely. And these ones down here, these pink shades, like the Wine and Dine, they are super pigmented. They have so much color impact when you put them on your lid that just a little, and I mean just the tiniest bit, really goes a long way. So if you have this palette, make sure that you're tapping off that brush and you're not really swirling. You're just kind of dabbing in there and building up. Otherwise, it's just going to be intense right off the bat. And I prefer to build up my colors to get to the intensity that I'm looking for. That's a personal preference for me. So now that I have done this and I like it, I'm actually going to go in and do my metallic on my lid. And now if you followed me before, I use my finger when I'm laying down any shimmers or metallics. I have found that with the way my eye lids behave, that is the best way for me to put on shimmers and metallics. I've tried with brushes, I've tried spraying setting spray on there and going in. It does not give me the impact that I'm looking for when I'm putting on those types of powders. So I just go in with my pinky. So what I'm going to first do is I'm going to go with the darker color here, and that is called Bat My Eyes. That one's down here, and I just kind of, and I'm going right there over where I just put that teddy bear color and melding right into it. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And just, again, melt right into where I put that teddy bear, which I kind of like the name of that. I like teddy bears in general, so I think that's kind of a cute name. And, you know, I think after a while you have to be creative when you're naming shadows. Every name has been done. So then for my next color, I'm actually going to go in with this toffee, which is a gold color. And you can see it right there. And that's going to go like right there. It's just going to right in the center. Now on the hooded eye, the right eye, I go a little higher up because when I open my eye and I look straight ahead, that way you can still see that color happening on the middle of my eyelid. So I do go a little higher up. I switch over here and toffee is going to go right there in the center. Right over here. And I tried to make sure I didn't use my middle finger so no one thought I was flipping them off while I was doing this process. And then for the corner, because I do that in the middle, then in the corner, I am actually going to go with this color called Awesome Sauce. It is a very light color, but it is beautiful. And I just, same thing, I'm just going in there and kind of blending them together. See if I can't do this. There is a little bit of fallout. I don't know if you can see that with the metallics, but that's not unusual. It really isn't. And it's another reason why I have started doing my eye makeup before I go in with my face makeup. So I'm just going to go in there, do that again. And then I take that fluffy brush and just kind of go over, mix them a little together. And if I want to, I can take this and kind of darken up and mix the brownie points with teddy bear and kind of line that crease again to bring back that definition. So that's what I'm doing. Just mixing the two together. And it is really important when you are doing your own eye makeup that you know the shape of your eye and what you're wanting to do, what you want that final look to be. And the reason is because what works on my eye shape, what I feel looks the best on my eye shape, may not actually work for you if you have rounder eyes, if you have deeper set eyes, closer eyes, you know, because we all have that different shape. The best thing you can do is learn what looks good for your eye shape when you're applying shadow. And the way to do that, honestly, is just through practice. That is going to be your best bet, is to practice. Do I like the way this looks? Do I want more shade here? Do I want more intensity here? Do I like highlight on my brow bone? Do I not? That's really the way you're going to find out what works best for you in terms of your eye makeup look. So I'm going to go ahead and look, and I got to tell you, these metallics and shimmers, they are so buttery. I know people say that a lot about a lot of products. Oh, it's so buttery, it's so soft, it's so creamy, but this really is. And I am in no way sponsored by BoxyCharm. I'm definitely not sponsored by Violet Voss. I'm sure they don't even know I exist. But I can tell you that I am immensely happy that this was a palette that I received with Boxy Luxe. And I like that they call it kind of the Holy Grail. I mean, I think that it would be nice if it was a couple of other pops of color besides just those pinks. I'm not a real big cranberry pinky fan for my own personal eye makeup, but I know it's very popular. And I have used this one here, the So Jelly, as a highlight in the corner. So I can see how that would appeal to people. That being said, I think it is a wonderful palette in general. So I'm just going to go ahead and make sure that I am happy with the way that my eye looks. And actually, I kind of want to pump up that middle shade just a little more, that toffee. So I'm going to go in and do that. And I'm just kind of tapping. I use this tapping motion. You can see it's all under my under eye. Really is. There is a little bit more fallout than I would like in terms of the shadow, but you know, it all washes away. So then let's see, I want to just make sure I'm really enjoying the way that looks. Again, I want to make sure that this is all buffed out and blended nicely. So I'm doing that. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and I am going to finish my full face. And then I will be back with you with not only my final look, but my final thoughts on the palette, so that you can see whether it's something that maybe you would enjoy yourself. If you haven't gotten into Boxy Luxe, whether or not I think it's worth the price. I know that it's $45 by itself. So we will talk a little about the price in comparison to the product quality. So I'll be back with you in just a few moments. And I'm back, and this is my finished look. As you can see, I went with some very fluffy lashes today with this look. I think it actually enhances the metallic. I actually really like them. I'm just kind of trying them out. Usually I kind of go with a more natural lash, but you know, I went for it. I did kind of go a little monochrome with some Maybelline Stay Matte Ink lipstick in Fighter. And I used my protection palette for the rest of my face. I did finish off my under eye using a mixture of brownie points and teddy bear. And then I used the Cool Beans, this color right there, for my inner corner highlight and my brow bone highlight. So my final thoughts on this palette is I actually think, had I not gotten it in a Boxy Luxe, I probably would have gravitated towards it. It is really colors that I love. They're colors that I tend to use over and over, even in my day-to-day wear. So it's definitely one that I would recommend. The formula is great. The blendability is wonderful. And you are getting 20 shadows for $45. So that actually is not too bad, considering for the most part, for more high-end palettes, you're paying in the $50 to $60 range for 14 or 12 shadows. So you are getting more shadows, and all of them are very usable. I've noticed that sometimes you get a multicolored palette and there are a few shades that just aren't in your wheelhouse, something that you would use. So you're really paying for some shadows that you're not going to use. In this, I believe that all of the colors in here are really usable. So that is my thoughts on the Violet Voss Holy Grail Pro. I hope that you loved it. If you have not subscribed to me already, please do and hit that bell. It will let you know when I upload, which I try to upload every Tuesday, Thursday, and sometimes Saturday, depending on the schedule that I keep. Also, I was doing palette of the week and I really enjoyed it. However, I noticed it was not going to be really conducive to me reviewing new product for you. If I was using one eyeshadow palette for 7 days and then going the next one, I wouldn't have a chance to really review new products for you, new eyeshadows, or show you really nice tutorials when I wanted to. So instead, I am going to review a new palette of the week and show you my favorite look from that palette. So it will be similar, except I'm not going to do 7 days straight of that palette. I will use it. I will find the look that I love the best, and I will review that palette for you and show you a tutorial like I did today. I feel like that will widen my ability to connect with you, give you the reviews you guys are looking for, and not be caged into one type of format. I am reviewing and currently testing a few new products. The primer water in cucumber from Wet n Wild. I have that one I'm testing out right now. I have a couple of lipsticks and new lip liners that I'm testing out, and actually a few lash lines that I'm testing out. So as soon as I feel like I've gotten enough wear in them that I can give you a proper review, that will be coming next. So I look forward to seeing you next time. Again, if you have any questions, comments, leave them down below. I'll tell you everything else that I used in the description box. And I want to say thank you for joining me today. I'll see you next time.